And welcome back to Let's Play Dwarf Fortress. I'm number 12 and when we last left off we had started to dig out some rooms. Mostly over here, where we started to dig out the farming plots. Also, let's get those going. I want you to plant Hydroot in those 3 seasons, sorry, not months. And that. Okay. So we have found 3 types of seeds, which are basically, it's basically just what you gather on those plants here. If you gather from plants above ground, you will gain seeds for above ground plants. And those depend on the biome you're in. So if you're in an evil biome, you will find pretty evil plants. No carnivorous plants, but I think there's actually a plant that, for example, is meat. I think it's eyeballs or something. It's pretty disgusting. But you can find that. No, wait, that's grass that grows there. But yeah, the plants in evil biomes are pretty evil and pretty disgusting and terrible. So they fit the scenery. Let's just say that they fit the scenery quite nice. So what are we digging out here? Is this rock salt? No, it's granite. Great. So I'm gonna carve out this first, then I will get to the then I'll get to the farms upstairs. Then I'll probably go and dig out another large room here, so we have stones the stonemasons can use and clean the area in the process. And then we'll go and produce a large crafting area upstairs. So that's the roadmap for now, so to speak. And I hope we can get along quite nicely. My last fortress was raided by a were-ape quite early in the game, who eliminated half of my 2-man army I had so far, and had bitten the other one, so he would have turned into a were-ape the next month too, much to my dismay. So I don't think the fortress was very viable. It wouldn't have lasted very much longer. Let's just say that. Also, I'm dropping a few beds here for obvious purposes. This is a dormitory, so we won't give our dwarves that much privacy for now. Dormitories have a few advantages though. First is they are of course cheaper and easier to place than a room for each single dwarf. And also they are there is a higher chance that, for example, vampires are discovered, because vampires feed on sleeping dwarves. Now, if you have a sleeping dwarf, he will not notice being eaten by a vampire. But if a dwarf sees the vampire, he will be discovered, and his cover will be blown, which means you can then attack him and accuse him of crimes and all that. So that's pretty useful. And if you have a dormitory, there is a higher chance that another dwarf is walking in on the vampire as he is feeding on your dwarfs, which increases the overall chances of survival, assuming your dwarf isn't attacked right away and gets in trouble for that. Which can happen as well, by the way, so it's never safe to be a dwarf. But as we have seen, the year is still young and there is much that can happen. Many unpleasantries can happen to our dwarves. And they will happen, believe me, they will happen. Okay, let's see how many fields I can squeeze in here. I would like to have 7. So that's 2. No, I want to have 6. That's too far. That should do. Why am I doing this? Well, actually, quite stupid to make to assign them like that, because a mining dwarf doesn't seem to like coherent runes. So he's mining in all kinds of weird patterns, sometimes seemingly completely random, which means you often end up with not the large rune you wanted to mine out, but some kind of weird check chessboard pattern, and that's not nice, especially if your miner decides to go mine something in on the other side of the map also, like now, when you actually wanted to have those 2 7x7 rooms, and now you have no 7x7 rooms because you left those 4 blocks there unmined, and instead went to go over here and mine there. Well, anyway, I won't blame him because I placed those orders and he just follows them, although he does it in the order he likes. Great, now we have 1 field down. That's a 6x6, we want 7x7, like this. This is a pretty huge field, I admit that. Most players go with smaller fields at beginning, but I don't really like that. So I go with those big fields that can easily keep a large population of around, I don't know, 100, 200 dwarves quite easily. They really do, I've tried it. And yep, so I like those. The construction is quite fast for fields because there is not really much to do with them. And now we can set what we want to harvest here. As you can see, the underground farming is a bit more developed than the above ground farming, mechanic wise, so we can only plant certain crops in certain seasons. The silly thing is that actually below the earth the temperature swing is way smaller than above ground. So actually, if you want to have the same things all over the year, you would plant them underground. That is for real life, but I guess it makes a fine mechanism here too. I mean, the stuff here grows and like minus 50 units of depth, so you shouldn't really notice any kind of change in the temperature down there, no matter when you are, aside of, well, assuming there is no direct connection to the surface. If there is direct connection to the surface, you might as well notice some changes, although they might be eliminated by the long way down. However, we are getting along quite well. We have our first plump helmet planted here. Next thing is I want to have okay, that's not as cool as I planned it, but I guess we can live with it. Okay, that is 1 workshop, 2 workshops, 3 workshops, 4 workshops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, So I'm going to do something a bit different from my usual layout, which is I think 3 to 4 on either side and then in the middle a few, because apparently we don't have the space for that right now. Oh well, we do have the space, but I placed the entrance a bit too far to the right, and so it's not possible. Also, we have this problem now, we don't have enough rocks, because apparently we were faster than I planned. So we'll have to go down here and mine out the dining room. I always have a rather large dining room, like this. By the way, this is not the original Dwarf Fortress texture pack. Well, tile set, not texture pack. But you get the point. It's the Phoebus tile set, I think it's called. And it just looks a bit nicer than the original, which is purely ASCII based. So you have only things you can type on your keyboard. It's kind of fun as well. It certainly has something, if you ask me, but I can see why people would prefer that. I mean, it is a bit more obvious what is what, especially if you have, well, if you have different other things and a variety of creatures and so on, which is not very definite if you have the same, like, 26 letters of the alphabet. I mean, a large E can be an elephant, it can be a giant emu, it can be a lot. I think they only differ in color then, or something else, but it's really not that unique. It's not easy to discern what is what, or what is a hostile thing and what is on your side. Oops, no, I don't want that. I don't want a rock short sword. And it is summer. So, you might have heard the announcement for summer now. I think there are a few announcements for each season, so it might not get boring too soon. I've also noticed something nice in my test recording. The episode was compressed quite far, so Dwarf Fortress save games don't take up nearly as much space as, for example, a Towns Let's Play. Even though I use the same settings and the same program and the pretty much same length of the episode. So that's kind of impressive. I can put one of those episodes from 15 gigabyte out of fraps to 100 megabyte or so, which is something I consider just amazing, because that is something I can certainly upload in a way shorter time than I can, say, Towns. Because the Towns upload is 500 to 600 megabyte and will require about 4 hours plus. So it's usually something about 4 hours, 5 with the processing by YouTube. So you see, uploading a video is kind of a long process. If you do Let's Plays yourself, you will probably notice that and know that already, but to those who don't, there is a lot of time actually involved in making a Let's Play. even though it just looks like, yeah, you're playing video games. No, we're not. But we are, but it's also a lot of processing and handling it and editing it. Good. Oh, all right. I don't really edit much because I'm not. I'm trying not to do that much stuff that needs editing. But you get the point. I am. Yeah, even I am fairly busy with making videos. So if I record, I want to record a few episodes in a row, usually 5 to 6, and so that is 1.5 hour I'm playing. Then I need to compress those episodes because I can't upload those Fraps videos in any considerable amount of time. Because I think I'd upload like 5 days for those 15 gigabytes I get out of Fraps. So I have to cut that down, and that takes about, oh my god, oh my god, no, not monkeys. Oh, I hate you so much. I hate you so much, monkeys. Die. Die. Go away. Shoo. Okay, the stray war dog is kicking some land grasses. And they are scattering my animals all over the place. Stop that. That's why I hate monkeys in Dwarf Fortress and probably in some other games as well, because they are annoying as hell. They are trying to raid my wagon for various things, and apparently, well, luckily they don't have a good chance against my dog. Did they wound it? I think they did. Let's see, status. Yeah, the monkey got his right ear. Kind of a dick move. Anyway, the episode is over for now. I'm still trying to keep them at 15 minutes, although I don't technically need to. But I think it's a nice length for an episode. So, I'll see you in a moment.